All right, welcome, welcome. I'm going to give everybody just a minute or two to join us in the room here. I'm really excited about our first Fast Track to Leadership call for spring 2016. So excited for you all to join me here. So I have the broadcast up on my other screen. So if you see me glance that way, it's just to make sure everything is working. So I think here it comes. So excited for you all to join me here. So I have the broadcast up. Okay, I think we're good. So I am just going to go ahead and get started because I really value your time. I'm Morgan Crane. I am your Black Status Upline exclusive presenter, and I'm so excited to have you here in this special group. This is not our whole team. This is just people who have made the commitment that they are ready to do the work and put in the time and put in the effort to promote and achieve their goals in Unique. Hi, Renee. Okay, I'm gonna try to ignore the chat, but if we have time at the end, I'll take some questions. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So this group, I haven't ever done a group like this before. I have participated in groups with other leaders before, Get to Green type of groups. This is the first time I've done this on my own, and I have kind of taken the best of what I have learned in my 2 years with Unique, and I want to pass it along to you. As I've kind of said before, this group is going to be no fluff. It's not going to be, this group is for the runners, not the walkers. I can hold your hand if you need it, but I'm going to let you go, and I want you to run, and I want you to run ahead of me, and I want you to run fast, and I want you to run hard. I want you to take this seriously because I take it seriously. I take your success very seriously, and I want the people in here to feel like that they can be a total badass, as bad as they want to be. I don't want them to ever feel like they have to dull themselves down. I want you all to be willing to, work as hard as you can, and also, celebrate those successes and just really embrace that momentum that it's going to create. And I understand, some of you have been doing this for a while, some of you are brand new. I want us all to pretend like we are totally brand new to the company and that we are just starting from scratch and building, because the whole goal right now is to take where you are and build it up to the next step of where you want to be, with the eventual goal of leadership in the company, which is that first leadership level is the Green Elite level. So what is this course going to look like for us? My goal is to do weekly calls. That is a big commitment from me. I've never done a weekly call for 12 weeks before, but I'm going to commit to it, and I would like you to commit to it. If for some reason there's a week I can't do it, I will have some sort of substitution, something for you to watch, something for you to do instead. But instead of posting tasks every day, we are going to go over the topic in this group. Let me minimize the window over here so I'm not looking at myself talk. It's hard not to. Okay. But everything, we're going to go over it on the call, and then I'll give you tasks to do within the group. But it's all going to be based on this call. So please make time to watch this call either live or on the replay. And we're also going to be, kind of networking within our team. We have representation from all over the team. This is a really great time to get to know people who are not in your direct, sidelines. So people who are under different elites, people who are working towards the same goals. I have met some of my lifelong friends who are sidelines to me. So not under me, not directly above me, but kind of in the middle. And you can work together, and nobody's benefiting financially from each other, so that kind of levels the playing field a little bit. For some people, prefer that when they're working. You can bounce ideas of each other, you can grow together, you can push each other, and it's fun. It's not like, oh, she's pushing me because she's going to make money or something like that, which I hope no one ever feels like, but you get what I mean. Okay, so I thought about trying to do a PowerPoint for this. I don't do PowerPoint. If I did, it wouldn't be very good, and I would be stumbling. So if I seem a little bit all over the place, I'm going to try to, go down my bullet points, and I will get to the topics on the sheet. So sorry if I seem disorganized. I am actually kind of nervous. I get nervous too, even though I do this stuff all the time. Okay, so unique, besides just, being a networking opportunity, meeting other women, sharing these amazing products, there's the financial reward from success. There's the opportunity to earn trips, like our trip to Cozumel. I'm gonna, it's my goal to get as many of you people on the boat. Let's use what we're learning in this group to get on that incentive cruise. But there's financial reward, there's emotional reward. You're helping people be successful, you're helping people feel beautiful. People do this business for all sorts of different reasons, but there is a lot of reward in it. And then the perks of being at a leadership level, in case you don't know, you go up from 25% commission to 30% commission off your personal sales. You also earn 5% commission on your circle. And it's kind of the sweet spot in the company. It's where you start, most presenters start to earn at least about $500 to $1,000 just on their downline at that point, their success line. That's the word I prefer. So you see more money coming in from your success line, and it's not so heavily based on your PRS. If you guys saw that collage that I made with all the green incomes from February, the higher incomes did have higher PRS, and we'll talk about how higher PRS is going to help you promote and help you network and help you find the people who are going to help you promote. So we'll get there. You also, once you hit Green Elite twice, you are eligible for Unified. Carrie Shender just got her email today, so congratulations, Carrie, on being invited to Unified. You get recognized at convention. They have a parade on stage for all the elites. And then there's extra perks. This past spring, I don't know what's coming this spring, but this past spring, there was a bonus, a financial bonus for hitting elite status. In the fall, the elites got to order products early. We were hoping for that this spring launch, but it didn't happen. But who knows what's going to happen next. But there are perks. There's also extra training and extra access to corporate in the elite and exclusive groups. And it's just a good place to be. It's a good place to work for. So, okay. That's why we want to get to green. It might seem very far away to some of you. Maybe you just have one person in your company. Maybe it's just you. Maybe you've had some people over time and they've kind of fallen off. But everything starts with believing that you can do it, believing that you're capable of this promotion, and believing that you're going to do the work and you're going to do it as long as it takes. So do you guys get your little worksheets filled out? The left side of the worksheet was really more for you than for me, but these are goals that it's really important to be in touch with. If you don't know why you're doing this business, like, what's going to motivate you? If you're not in touch with what's holding you back, or you're not in touch with your strengths and your weaknesses, if you're not in touch with that place inside you that you're going to need to reach into to push yourself, then it's going to be extra hard to push yourself. So that kind of thing is something that we're going to be touching on throughout the course. Reconnecting with your why, reconnecting with kind of the point of what you're doing here. And so I hope you did fill that out. If you didn't, it's available in the group in the files section. It's called Week 1 PDF. And yeah, okay, so let's go. I'm going to kind of go through the worksheet. It's kind of my notes for the call. So everything starts with believing you can do it. If you don't believe you can do it, you're never going to do it. You have to believe in it first. And then when you are working with a team, you have to believe that they can do it. And I don't know if you saw my video on building leaders, but a big part of building leaders is believing in them more than they believe in themselves. So you have a unique perspective where you can observe them and what they're good at, and where they need help. You can go and look at their parties. You can go and look at how they're posting on their business page or their wall, or you can go with them to an event if you're local, and you can kind of look at what they're doing and help them. And where they may have self-doubt, or they may get frustrated easily, you can come in and you believe in them more than they believe in themselves. But you have to believe in yourself as well. So green, it's a sweet spot in the company. It requires every month you have to hit again. If you hit it once, you're recognized as green, but you need to be paid as green. You need to meet these qualifications every month, which is $500 PRS, 10,000 company sales, 2,000 circle sales. A lot of you may not know the difference between company sales and circle sales. We can go over the comp plan later. I'm not going to go over it right now. And then you also need to have 3 qualified presenters in your first level. So those can be people you personally sponsored, or it can be people that have rolled up to you, but they need to be in your first level. So all those requirements need to be met every single month in order to be paid as green. And the goal is not just to boost your company up and have you hit green once. Almost all of my leaders and all the leaders, the majority of the leaders on this team have hit green and been able to maintain green. That's the goal. You want to build a team that is going to continue to be sponsoring, continuing to be growing, and maintaining, and then eventually promoting to orange, purple, black. So there's kind of a rule in direct sales. Statistically, there are always 3 people. There's going to be somebody who's coming, there's going to be somebody who's going, and there's going to be somebody who is working. So say you sponsor 3 people every single month. Statistically, you can expect one of those people to do anything. So that's why we always have to continue to sponsor. Always, every single month, you should be aiming for at least 3 people. And that might seem totally overwhelming right now, but before you say 3 people, I can't do that, we're here to give you the tools. I'm here to give you the tools and to try to do that as much as possible. So you have to have a plan, though. You can't just say, I'm going to sponsor 3 people. That is a result. That is like an end result of a process. So you have to figure out what the process is. And you have to work through the steps in order to get the result. So you can't just say, I'm going to sponsor 3 people. You have to say, I'm going to book 10 one-on-ones because, one-on-one is where I thrive, or whatever. I'm going to book 2 events. I'm going to book 2 online parties. Okay, and then how do you do that? How do you book 2 online parties? Well, you're probably going to have to ask 20 people to book 2 online parties. So those are the actions that are going to get you on the way, and we'll go over those in depth as well. But we're going to take these things and break it down into the actions of what you need to do to get the results that we're going for. But the goals are the results. The goal should be 500 PRS at least, minimum, every single month, and sponsoring 3 minimum every single month. If you are not doing that, it is really, 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 really hard to promote. Like I said, I'll be straight with you, no fluff. If you're not selling that much, at least that much, you're not networking with anywhere near enough people to even have the chance to sponsor 3 people. Most statistically across what I've learned from being in this company and us sharing numbers a lot, most people are selling 2,000 to 5,000 personally the month that they hit green. So if you are someone who has had low sales, averaging a couple $100s a month, we need to ramp that up. You need to make a commitment to yourself that you are going to do the work and take the suggestions and try everything that we tell you to try to do the work to get those sales up. Because the more sales you have, the more access you have to people. The more access you have to people, the more likely you are to get referrals, to get new presenters, and to get new hostesses. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so Matt, you have to make a plan. What is this business? It is book, sell, sponsor, duplicate is the 4th one. That's the 4th one that we don't really talk about that much, because you can be booking, selling, sponsoring, you could sell $10,000 a month and you can be sponsoring new people, but if they're not doing what you're doing, your team is not going to grow. Your team is not going to, you're not going to promote. You're not going to get to where you want to be if they're not doing what you're doing. So our goal is to teach you to duplicate. And that's a tricky part, and it can depend on those people coming in, you know, who's coming, who's going, and who's working. So yeah, statistically in direct sales, 1 in 10 people in a direct sales company ever, not just Unique, 1 in 10 people will reach a leadership level at some point. 1 out of 10 conversations about the business, about, you know, basically asking people, have you ever thought of becoming a Unique presenter? 1 in 10 will result in sponsoring. So if you are wanting to sponsor 30 people a month, or sorry, 30 people a month, that'd be great. 3 people a month, how many conversations do you need to have? At least 30 conversations where you straight up talk about the business, talk about the opportunity. How many of you are currently having 30 conversations a month about the opportunity? I would say I'm not. I am guilty of that. So these are things that we work on. These are things that we're gonna, you know, we're gonna go all out on. 20% versus 80%. 20% of your team will do 80% of the work. That's just statistics. And a lot of people make the mistake of focusing on the 80% of the team that's doing the 20% of the work. They are trying to chase down the hobbyists, the kidnappers, you know, trying to keep people from falling off when they're in the red, that sort of thing. They spend a lot of time on that instead of focusing on the 20% of your team that is really working. So 20% of the team will do 80% of the work. And if you're not getting the results, you need to do more. Flat out, you need to do more. It's good to maybe step back and assess your methods. You know, like, I've been talking to 100 people a month and no one's signing up. Okay, well, what are you saying? You know, like, let's go over what you're saying. But when in doubt, you know, if you ask 100 people if they want to have a party, odds are you'll get 10 parties out of that. But you have to keep asking. You have to keep doing it. You have to keep offering. And that's where a lot of people get stuck. They will say, oh, you know, I had 2 bad parties. You know, like, nobody wants to buy this stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Nobody wants to do Facebook parties anymore. And I can say, because Kelly just commented, be like, how's Kelly having so many parties? You're like, well, because Kelly's asking a lot of people, and she's made a name for herself, and people want to work with her because she's, you know, she's showing people what she has to offer. And not everybody is Kelly. I'm not Kelly. I'm not. I love her, but I'm not Kelly. But I've learned from her, and I've learned from all these different people doing all sorts of different things. So another thing is that as a leader and as somebody in this group, you need to be receptive to feedback. That might be hard for some of you, but, you know, we're going to take an honest look at what you're doing. And you might hear some things that you don't like, you know, that you're not doing enough, or that you should change how you're doing, or, you know, but be ready for that. It's been, you know, I'm treating this course as straight up business. I love you, but this is coaching. This is business. You said you wanted to do this. We're going to do it. So that's my mindset on this. And then, so, okay, Bres Formula. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Or I already mentioned it. It's sell 500 and sponsor 3. That is a formula that Brie Richardson came up with. She is Black Status 2. She is on the wall of influence. The girl knows what she's doing. She's built 1 million leaders. And she has a very simple formula. Every month, you sell 500 minimum. You sponsor 3 minimum. And you teach your team to do the same. You duplicate. You tell them, this is what we do in this business. It's not like, oh, if you feel like talking about the opportunity, you know, no, it's, this is what you do as a Unique presenter. You sell 500 and you sponsor 3 people every single month. And then so of those 3 people, you're going to have one person that's like, cool, I got this. Then you're probably going to have two people that are like, what? Because realistically, what did we say? One's coming, one's going, and one's working. So you're not going to have everybody participating in this 5-3 formula, but if you do, I want to show you a little screenshot right here. I'm going to screen share with you and show you an image. Okay, so my friend Michelle Bell made this. Okay, so in a perfect world, do you see me right here? So on the first month, I have 500 PRS and 3 presenters. And then if all 3 of those and I did the formula, it'd be 500 PRS and 12 presenters. And then month 3, 500 PRS, 39 presenters, and month 4, 120 presenters on our team. But let's be real here. If only one of my 3 each month duplicates, this is what it's actually going to look like. So month 1, 3, 9, 21, 39, 75, and then in 6 months, I'd have 153 presenters actively working on my team. And if all of those people, or even a third of those people, are selling 500 a month, that would put me at almost orange status right there. So that is why this formula is something that works. Go back to me. So obviously, I would love for every single one of you to be selling, $2,000 a month. That'd be great. But that's something you're probably gonna have to work your way up to. A lot of you are gonna have to work your way up to that, and that's okay. I don't apologize for that. Own it. You'd say my goal is to sell $2,000 a month, but you need to map out how exactly you're going to get there. If it's going to be 10 online parties at $200 a party, or whatever it is, we're going to learn how to map it out. So that's kind of the skill that we're going to start with in this course is mapping and understanding, where's the money coming from? If you want to be green, what does that mean? If you want to be green, that means you either need to have 5 pink status presenters on your team. That could be because they each have to have 2,000 company wholesale. 5 times 2,000 is 10,000. There's your company wholesale for green. If you want to be green, you could have 2 blues and a pink. You could have 2 blues and 3 yellows, or who sold yellow in that month. So there's different permutations, and you need to look at your downline, success line, and see what you're already working with. And then as your team grows and you are establishing that culture of sell $500 a month, sponsor 3 people every month, and see who's working, then you can kind of map out. And you want to be also in touch with the goals of the people that you're working with. Learn who wants to promote. Learn who's just in it for a discount. Learn who just wanted the kit and never wants to talk to you again. All of those people are an important part of your team, but you need to know that about your team. You need to be in touch with them. You want them to be working together. And before anyone thinks that hobbyists are like a waste of time, or I shouldn't sponsor anybody who wants to be, just wants a discount on the makeup or whatever. The way our comp plan works, you never know where your next elite is coming from. So that person who just wants a discount and just sells barely enough to stay active, what if her sister might sign up and she might be your next elite? So I know one of my elites, Molly Mahoney, was sponsored by a girl that I met in a mom's group who sold 1 mascara ever. And Molly was my 3rd elite. And I never would have met her if it wasn't for that girl who wasn't really that into unique. So don't judge anybody before they sign up. Don't decide for anybody. Share the opportunity and why it's important. We'll go into that in sponsoring. But anyhow, don't prejudge. Don't think that hobbyists are not important. I broke down my circle numbers last month for some leaders, and a lot of my circle, I think 80% of my circle had sales from, I think $7 was the lowest to 200. And that was like 85 people had between $7 and $200 in sales, but that was amounted to over $12,000 company wholesale. So the people who are only selling a little bit every month, if you have enough of them, then those can, that can boost your numbers up too. Okay. So let's look at what are we going to do? What are we going to do to get ready for this course? What are we going to do to start networking more, start finding these new presenters, start selling more? So I want you to, let me screen share again with you. Okay. Okay, so everybody goes a different path in the business. You need to pick a path and run with it. So I do almost all of my selling online. I started with Facebook parties, but now I mostly do one-on-one consultations through Facebook chat or Skype or FaceTime. So my network is all spread out, so I can't really have people over to my house. But I do one-on-ones anyhow. I do virtual one-on-ones. Some people do events like bridal shows or community events, fundraisers, talk to people who work in salons, open houses, parties. I want you, the goal is to choose eight things that you're going to do this month in March. So it could be 8 Facebook parties. It could be 4 Facebook parties and 4 one-on-ones. It could be 2 home parties, 2 events, and 4 fundraisers, whatever is going to work for you. But I want you to map that out. And if 8 seems like a lot right now, this week, pick 2. And then next week, pick 2. And then the next week, pick 2. And make sure you have 2 events, either parties, home parties, whatever it is, opportunities to share and sell each week. And that's how you kind of get in that habit, and you meet more people through those events, and you network more, and you get more business that way. So we're going to move on to the nitty-gritty. I don't want to mislead anybody and say this is easy, that this is something you can work on for half an hour a week or even half an hour a day. When you are running for a promotion, it's hard work and it does take time. And we're going to work on, working smarter, not harder, but you are going to be working hard. And it's like, what would you be willing to sacrifice in the short term to reach your long-term goals? So some of the things we came up with: make your business a priority. Make sure people know that you're doing this. Talk about it, and not in an apologetic way. Like, this is who I am. I'm a unique presenter. I love the products. I love the business. I love the company. Like, never apologize for it. It's not like, oh, please buy my stuff. You should not be working any of a direct sales business. People get confused. Be like, wait, are you a blank, customer, or are you a unique presenter? Ask for extra help from your family, from your kids if they're old enough to help out, from your husband. Do crock-pot meals. Watch less TV. Get up earlier, stay up later. Be willing to step out of your comfort zone and be willing to just go for it. Just go for it. So that's something that you need to think about. Nobody can decide that for you. So yeah, it's just something that you need to do, and you need to decide what's important. A lot of people say, I'm not going to sacrifice any time with my kids. Okay, don't. But then get up earlier or stay up later, or, when your kids aren't around. Andrea Pancholi, I don't know if she's watching this, is an elite on our team. And we were talking, and she was saying she kind of had an epiphany that her kids are her why, but she's been kind of using them as an excuse. I have to be with my kids. I can't do this because my kids. She's like, wait a minute. My kids are the reason that I'm doing this. I want a better life for my kids. So I need to stop thinking of them as what's dragging me down, and instead, use them to motivate me and work around it. Samantha says, what if every person who signed up from you is a hobbyist and you're struggling with sponsoring? The answer to that is keep going, do more, talk to more people. We'll talk specifically about sponsoring at a different time, but you need new blood. on your team. There is a phrase in network marketing: new blood solves old problems. And also the other one is, it's easier to give birth than to raise the dead. So if you have, you say you even have a pretty sizable team, but they're not working, they're checked out, or they're just kind of like coasting along, they're not interested in growing, you need a new team. That's the cold, hard, brutal truth. And I said I was going to give it to you. You need a new team. You need to grow a new team. You need to get new people on that team. They need to get new people. And people start over. It's like the phoenix rising from the ashes. I know people who are at green or above whose team has just kind of fizzled out. And they have started over completely. They said, okay, I don't care what it says on my back office. I am approaching this as if I am a white status presenter and it's my first day in the business and I've never spoken to anybody about this ever. And I'm going to go after it the same way I did when I started. So that's not to make anyone feel bad or scared, but that is the cold, hard truth. If the team that you have is not interested in growing, then you need a new team. And you can do it because this opportunity is crazy amazing. And you might have to talk to 100 people to get 10 people to sign up, but isn't that worth it? If they all sponsor 3 and 3 and 3, like we're gonna work on. So that's the truth of that question. Okay, where am I? Okay, I'm gonna try to start wrapping it up. I have another worksheet for you that I'm gonna post after the call. And it is going to be our tasks for the week. So it's going to be mapping out your business. So mapping out the team that you do have currently. So if you're yellow and you're going for pink, you need to say, okay, I have Huey, Dewey, and Louie underneath me, and Huey's probably only going to sell 125 and get qualified, but Dewey and Louie are probably good for 500 a piece, and that means I need to sell X amount, and then combined together will be pink. You need to do that math. Be intentional. The phrase, I'm just going to wait and see what happens, it's not allowed anymore. Kick it to the curb. There's no, I'm just going to see. It is, I know what you're capable of. I know what I'm capable of. Even if it's, I need to sell $5,000 this month and have the rest of my team make up the rest to get you green, you figure out how to sell 5,000 if that's the only way to do it and you're that committed to it. So we're going to map our teams. I have some videos to share on mapping, so I'm not going to go into that too much right now because the videos have it covered. I will share those after the call. So this worksheet will help you kind of figure out, who are my leaders that I have right now. Talking to them about their whys. Hopefully some of them are in this group and you guys can kind of work on it together. That's the end goal. So after you create your business map, I want you to send it to your upline elite. And if your sponsor is engaged, then send it to your sponsor. If your sponsor is not engaged, that's okay. You don't need your sponsor to be actively working for you to actively work. That's another amazing thing about our business, is that you control your destiny, not your upline. There's a phrase, you don't need an upline, you just need a downline. Which is actually true. All right, so you want to do your map and you want to write down your goal and hang it up in your house in at least 10 different places. Why? Because when you see it and you're going to, when you see it everywhere you go, basically, it's going to be drilled into your head, and it's also kind of a way to hold yourself accountable because no one's going to do this for you. Again, tough love. This is on you. We are going to help you as much as you can. We're going to do, we're going to give you whatever tools you can. But at the end of the day, it's you that's going to do it. And you guys you have it inside you. It's just accessing it and not giving up. Believing is the first step. Okay, so you're going to write it down. You're going to display it. You are going to create a dream board this week. And you are going to share it with our group. You're going to take a picture of it and put it up there for everybody to see. And if you've made one in the past, please add at least 2 new things. Don't just say, oh, I made this one in January. Like, no, come on. Got to do it because, again, it's a visualization. I don't know how many of you were in my attraction marketing class last month, but it's all about where your head is at. And my goal, my dream board is a house for my family. I've wanted it for a long time since I started this business. We're not there yet. I'm still working. I'm still working on it, but that's front and center in my dream board. And it's easy to, kind of stray away from your goals if they're not right in front of your face every day. And I know that from experience. So dream board. And then there's some more tests on the sheet that you can see. But I also said we're going to do some read-along books. If you have to choose between working and reading a book, always work. But the books that I've chosen for the course are The Energy Bus, Girl Code, and You Are a Badass. And I will put the links to those. If you want to, swap with someone, like each of you buy one book and you exchange them or whatever. I don't want people spending a bunch of money or anything, but these are really good books that are about mindset and focus and just getting to where you want to be. So I think that's everything. I'm really excited. It's going to be intense. It's going to be, I think it's going to be fun. I really, really want to celebrate with you guys as you take each little step along the way. We're going to celebrate everything. We're going to celebrate I talked to 10 people. We're going to celebrate every step along the way. I want to use this group page as like a mini page for you guys to share ideas. We're going to keep it positive, but we're going to, it'll be a place to have straight talk. Let's just say that. And I'm excited to put in the work with you guys and to see the results because it's worth it. And I want you guys to really feel good about your businesses. So that's about it. If you're just watching the replay, sayonara. Thanks for watching. If anybody has questions and wants to type them in the chat bar, I can stick around for another 10 minutes or so to answer questions. There's always a delay, so I always look silly while I wait. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions. Let me type my message here. When will the recording be up? Immediately. As soon as I stop the broadcast, it will be published. I have hours after the call. So you'll get an email in your inbox tonight with the replay link, and I will also post it on the page. What are the 3 books? I don't have the authors off the top of my head, so I'll post them on the page, but it's The Energy Bus, like a school bus, and then Girl Code, which I do have that one. Girl Code by Kara Leba. This is an awesome book. You're going to love this book. And then the third one is You Are a Badass, and that's by Jen Sincero. But I'll post links to those. How was it when I first started? How fast did I hit pink? Okay. I guess I can give my little bio. I got my kit on January 31st, 2014. So a little over 2 years ago. I started my first party on the 31st, and I sold $200 on the 31st, and then went back to zero the next day on February 1st, and I hit yellow in a week. I hit pink in 10 days, fast start in 10 days. I was green on the 24th of February, my first month. And then I was green in March. I was orange in April. So I was orange in April, May, June. I hit purple in July. I was purple in August, and I was black in September. And I've been black ever since, except for 1 month. Last August, I was purple. I was paid as purple because I only had 3 elites. So and I will be a total open book with you guys about this stuff. How did that happen? I sponsored like crazy. And the people who signed up also sponsored like crazy. And we built a team really quickly, and everybody was kind of brand new together. And that energy was contagious. If you're on Kelly Sarno's team, that's what I see happening on Kelly's team. Again, sorry to keep saying Kelly's name, but that's what I see happening is a bunch of people are starting at the same time. Everybody's excited. Everybody is, not everybody, there's a lot of people who are successful straight out of the gate, and that energy is contagious, and that energy leads to more energy. So our goal is to, keep snowballing this energy. What book am I starting with? I think we're going to start with The Energy Bus, because I haven't read it yet, and I've read the other two. So we'll start with that one. And yeah, and they're all, they're not long, they're short, and it's a good way to not totally check out, but it's not active work, but it'll get you psyched up to work. So. Anybody else? And thank you. It was fun. I still really enjoy it, obviously, but one of my favorite parts is coaching. So it's been a good run for me, and I really enjoy helping you guys. Dream board specifics, no. I mean, you can use, I would say big enough that if you had it on a wall, you could see it from across the room. You could do a poster board. You could do, if you're like really online oriented, you could do an online one if you print it out and hang it up. That's my specification for online ones. And yeah, just somewhere you can hang it up and you can actually see it, not just like saved in your photo album on your phone. That's not good enough. Nicole, we'll talk about that with sponsoring later. I don't want to keep everybody on the replay too long. But the biggest thing is go outside your local network with that. Okay. All right. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for investing this time with us. And I really look forward to the next 3 months. I'm really going to try not to bombard you with stuff every week. I don't want to burn people out or have people just, flat out give up before we've really gotten started. So, I'm going to post the week 1 tasks, and we'll talk about them in the group. And I'll see you guys all again next week on Monday. All right. Bye.